is January 13th. It's a Monday. Josh and I started talking in the last probably half of 2024. I mean, we've been talking about it for longer than that, but we seriously sat down and said, do we want to have another kid? Because I started feeling like I was ready. That Seren is, it just feels like she's getting to a good age where we could consider that. So we talked about that. There's a lot of things that we're talking about and considering, and I would love to look back on this and remember it. So yeah, January 13th, we are trying for another baby, and sorry. Sounds really good. Congratulations! Yay! Got a little babe in there.
Close your eyes. Okay, open. Boy! A baby brother!
We may be going to the hospital for high blood pressure and stuff. We've only been here for almost 3 hours, I guess, but we immediately came into this room. Came in with, I had a couple of high blood pressure scores at home. The baby dropped a couple of days ago. That's fine. But then I started having some more Braxton Hicks more often. Also fine, they weren't painful. Then I started having dizzy spells and kind of a like background headache. And I noticed that my legs are swelling because I can't cross my legs really anymore. So I was like, I don't feel too good about this. We sent Seren away for the night, came here, they tested my blood and my pee and confirmed that I do have preeclampsia again. They called the OB, they're on their way. I think they're coming here to talk to me. I don't know if I'm gonna have to be admitted, but I'm definitely gonna be monitored a lot more closely. And I need to go off work. Saturday, September 27th, 5 days after Seren's birthday, when she came at 35 weeks, and I'm 33 in 4 days. You better stay in there for at least 2 more weeks. I had a gut feeling that something was wrong, but actually hearing it is, that's crazy. That's crazy. At least I brought my hospital bag. Morning. It is Wednesday, October 1st, and the last time I filmed I was in the hospital and they just told me I had preeclampsia, and it was really scary and not at all surprising. But after the last clip, I believe it was the last clip as far as I'm remembering, I don't think I've picked it up since then, we were then sent out to the waiting room so that they could do more assessments for people while waiting for the OB to go over things and then hopefully discharge me. This OB was different from the first one, and we waited 5 hours to speak with her. We were 5 hours in that waiting room, only to go in and have her say the complete opposite thing that the last OB had said, basically. The first OB told me, you have preeclampsia as indicated by the protein in your urine and your blood work. And I was like, okay. Really like disappointing and made my heart drop, because I was like, okay, I knew this was likely, but at the same time you always think you're being more paranoid and you're just being safe and whatever. I was really hopeful that we could have a semi-normal time this time. Was grappling with that. I went out into the waiting room. I texted my boss. I kind of like came to terms with it. Then 5 hours later we go into this other OB which, by the way, Josh keeps telling me it's not, but I know for a fact this is the same resident OB that when I gave birth with Seren and I was like, well, when I was going in there, I was leaking waters. And so they had to like test all this stuff in order to, I had been like admitted to the hospital for a couple of days and I really wanted to get discharged. So they had to do these like swab tests. She did the swab test and it was the most painful thing that I've ever felt. I mean, top 3 things were the Pitocin contractions, the magnesium injection made me feel like I was burning in hell, and this swab. It was so incredibly painful and I was told that it was not supposed to hurt at all. She also didn't like, usually when you're getting swabs like this done, the person performing it will let you know like, okay, I'm just gonna touch here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. She did not give any warning. It was so traumatic. I can't even describe. Like, I've never been one that's like, I'm actually less anxious in hospital settings because I know that they know what they're doing and I feel much more comfortable once I get into that space and I'm at the hands of the doctors and the nurses. Like, I feel very relaxed. But after that, and then because she did it so rough, it caused me to bleed, leading me to not be allowed to be discharged because I was bleeding. And I was like, well, it's because she just did the fucking swab and scraped my insides. That's why I'm bleeding. Long fucking story short, it was that same resident OB that told me 5 hours later I did not have preeclampsia. They were like, yes, there's protein in your urine, but that's not enough to like diagnose preeclampsia and you're fine, so you can go home. Went home, that was on Saturday. And then on Monday, like throughout the morning, I felt that I was not having as much movement and I started getting really worried. And there was like a full hour where he did not move at all, which is just so abnormal for him. He's a very, very active baby. So I did end up going back in, getting checked out. Everything ended up being fine, but the midwife that was like discharging me was so absolutely wonderful and explained everything. I explained to her what happened on Saturday and how I was just like really upset about that because obviously as somebody who has had a traumatic pregnancy, a preterm birth, it was all because of preeclampsia. And then being told that you have preeclampsia, but then it's like, oh no, actually you don't. You only have like the creatine in your urine. Like, that's the only thing that's the problem. I'm more inclined to treat that as if, okay, this is probably going to turn into preeclampsia, or it already is on its way to, you know, like I'm more inclined to treat it a lot more sensitively. And she was like, I completely understand. I'm so sorry that happened. She retrieved like all of the blood work and everything and wrote down all the numbers, went over everything with me. And then she said, they're actually in the process of changing the definition of preeclampsia. So instead of just requiring one of these things, and one of the most important things is the protein being found in your urine, that's like the most concerning one. Instead of that being enough for a diagnosis, now they require that and like an actively high blood pressure to have preeclampsia. So kind of strange because like if I already have the protein in my urine, that means like something's going funky and you want me to wait until I have high blood pressure and then it's gonna, like, I just feel like we're not treating it. Like, I know we can't really treat it as preeclampsia right now, but everybody telling me that I'm fine. I don't know, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that they just like change the definition, especially with somebody who had it previously, so it's much more likely for me to have it. I just feel like I need to get this off of my chest because it's been so frustrating. Feel like my body's off and then be told, yes, your body's off, and then be told, but don't worry about it. Like, there's nothing you can do. I'm obviously a very anxious person in general, but I just am so worried about this birth turning into what it was last time, and I'm so worried about the baby. Like, I just want the baby to be okay. So I'm being very like hyper aware of everything, and then I feel guilty about that because I'm like, everybody's telling me I'm fine, I'm just being dramatic, but like, what do you mean? And I did talk to my boss, so I am on maternity leave. Well, I'm not technically on maternity leave, I'm on like sick leave right now until I have the baby, and then I'm on maternity leave, so I'm not going back to work because we talked about it. I mean, we were actually discussing this with my OB for the past month or so, just given how things went last time and how stressed I've been. Like, the work itself that I'm doing, like my job itself, it's not that I don't like it and I'm stressed out and it's like, I don't know, it's simply the fact that I have to work full time on top of everything else. and we have a lot of stressful things going on in our life. And I just was never able to bring myself down from that. Like I literally just couldn't. I could never be calm. My threshold for being like my patience and being able to deal with things was just so heightened. Does that make sense? If a 10 is like I'm super heightened and stressed and angry and whatever, I was like sitting at a 7 all the time, and so any little tiny thing would just like throw me over, and it was really frustrating because I just wanted to like have patience and be able to like hang out with Seren, and not that I couldn't, but it was just, I don't know, my capacity to like handle any sort of meltdown or any sort of inconvenience was just not there. So yeah, I had been talking about this with my doctor, and we're also watching my blood pressure and like the swelling and all of that, and she said that she would write me off work at any time. She said, I think that's a good idea. And then I saw the OB that was covering for her because she was on vacation. When I saw her, she was like, I think you need to pick a date and I will write you off for that date because clearly this is not, you're not doing good. So after leaving that OB appointment, which was the Tuesday before, I believe. So I went into the hospital on the Saturday. I think the Tuesday before was when I had that appointment. I like told my HR people, just let them know this possibly could be happening because my next OB appointment wasn't for another 2 weeks. So it's next Tuesday. I was just like, yeah, this is happening. They've been wanting to write me off. I just want to give you a heads up. And then by Saturday it was very clear what needed to happen. So that's all of like the drama update. But other than that, yesterday my friends came over. One of them moved to Alberta, so we basically just hang out once a year when she comes home. I don't know why the other 3 of us don't hang out outside of that, but we're gonna work on it. But they're so freaking sweet. I can't. They got me this basket of like the the stuff that I said I was craving. Like I literally said, I love these sour straps so much. They got me 3 packages. And then the fruit roll-ups and a jar of pickles. And padsicles. I didn't have these last time. I'm so excited to have those. And then like nipple butter, nipple pads for like milk leakage. The most thoughtful pajamas that I wore last night. They're so cute. It's little kitties that are dressed as mummies. So it's like a Halloween outfit. So cute. And they also got Seren stuff. Like those 3 books are from them. They got her a little basket and some Halloween jammies in her basket too. They're so nice. I miss them so much. Like our hangout session just like flew by and I can't believe it's already over. But so that happened yesterday. Seren had a ball. The first thing she said this morning when she woke up was like, your friends out there? Like because when she went to bed, they were still here. So she was really hoping that they'd still be here to play with her. That literally made me want to cry. So yeah, now it's Wednesday, October 1st. Seren is at daycare. I'm having a little bit of a cinnamon coffee type deal and relaxing. I have not been sleeping well at all. I've been falling asleep super early and then having incredibly broken sleep, which I remember from last time. I knew that this is not a surprise to me. It's just, it started happening and I like to complain about it. And then I wake up between like 4 and 6 and I can't fall asleep. So I just got up around 6 this morning and came out and started watching a YouTube video. I'm at the point where I'm just kind of accepting it and getting myself used to just giving up and going to do stuff, because obviously when the baby's here, that's going to be the reality too. So might as well get used to it. There's some organization things and packing that I want to do. We can't do a lot of packing just because we're running out of space in our garage to put stuff. I've been trying to do more of like an organization and declutter and getting rid of stuff. So we already got like a big box of donations and Josh put a big bag of donations that I already sent to the thrift store. We are slowly but surely getting through stuff. And that's all I want to do, like day after day while I'm off, making sure that I'm taking breaks and not doing too much, because then I feel sick and exhausted. So yeah, I'm just gonna have some snacks, watch some YouTube, organize and declutter, get rid of some junk. I also, when Seren isn't here, have been slowly taking some stuff to donate. It's mainly stuffed animals. When I was younger, I remember having way too many stuffed animals but they're just so fun. And then like never wanting to get rid of them. But it's an epidemic. Like it's so ridiculous the amount of stuffies that she gets. And it's one of those things that she'll enjoy for like a couple of days, maybe. But she doesn't like play with her stuffies. So they just sit. Like there's just stuffies everywhere. And there's like, it ranges from like those expensive Jellycat ones, which she never uses, to like Dollarama ones, which she also never uses. But like, it's just, it takes up too much space. I'm hoping she doesn't notice that I'm going through her stuff and getting rid of stuff, but it just makes me feel so good. It's the nesting. The nesting is really kicking in. How long is this clip? 17 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, I need to go. Every time I drop something, oh, it's so hard to pick. It's like 12:30. I look like flushed or something. I just got up from a nap. I had to force myself to get up. I was in one of those naps where you just don't want to stop napping. You feel super like out of it and lethargic. I'm just so tired. Had some leftover turkey meatballs. Oh, there's a frog in my throat. Ugh. Had some leftover turkey meatballs, some rice, and then I had some blackberries, and then I was also drinking this, the 7-Up Zero Sugar Cranberry. Really liking this. I just randomly got one of those little mini 6-packs just to try because it's hard to find Diet Pepsi caffeine-free version, which is what I normally go for like a caffeine-free and sugar-free pop. But sometimes they just don't have it. So I tried that one day. Really liked it. And we've got our little cookies. So the sugar-free is not doing anything because then I have this. But we went to Crumble yesterday when I was with my friends. We got pumpkin pie, regular chocolate chip, molten lava, which I haven't tried. Cereal milk. That's another pumpkin pie that like got demolished. Confetti cake, and then there was also a churro one. There was another one of these, another one of these, another one of these. I'm just so out of breath. Holy crap. I think what I'm gonna try to do today is wake up some more watching, who guessed it, Zoella. And then I have some laundry to fold. I have some baby laundry to fold. Oh my God. I get so excited when I find something for the baby and I get to wash it and then fold it. So yeah, I've got that to do, but I also want to do up like an email for work, like I kind of wrap things up. This is what I was working on if it comes back. Like there's a lot of things without saying what I do. I mean, I guess it's the same as any job. If there's some knowledge to be passed on that other people aren't aware of, that's helpful to do. So I'm gonna like do up a wrap up email basically. And my OB called and she's seeing me tomorrow morning. She called because I had left a message for her just to be like, hey, I was in the hospital. I think it's a good idea to be written off now. And so she booked me in for tomorrow morning. So that's a huge relief. Really, really happy about that. Maybe I should wait to do the work stuff until I have that appointment just to confirm that everything's good. She already told me 3 times that she would write me off. So I can't see there being an issue there, but whatever. What am I gonna organize now? Maybe my craft stuff. I've got that whole crafting cart full of stuff that obviously I don't use because I don't have a space to do it and I'm too busy. So it's just there in the way. Oh my God, and then I could use that and then I could use that for the baby. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Great. Thank you for helping me with that. If that fell on me, that would kill me. So I'm just gonna put that over here. So I think what I'll do is just kind of try and make some semblance of order between the two of those, or simply just fit all of that in between the two of those, label them accordingly, get Josh to put them back up there because they're not very heavy right now. More stuff's gonna go, but I just want to show this. I have, oh, there's water in that. Okay. I have 2 of these saved because I had an idea to like turn it into a craft or something. And like as I'm saying that, I was showing that to be like, this is ridiculous, I'm about to throw them out. But as those words are coming out of my mouth, I'm like, oh, those could be really useful for a craft. And I am gonna save them actually, because we don't use Tide Pods anymore. I feel like I could like store, it could be useful for some sort of storage. I'll look on Pinterest for ideas. If I find a really good idea that I know I'll do before I move, or soon after, then I'll get it. What's up here? Oh my God. First and last day of kindergarten. A little windmill. Cute. Anyways, now all of that's messed up and Josh is not gonna be able to put this up. Okay, time to organize. I don't think I'm gonna film myself organizing because I wanna watch Isabella. I hate Facebook Marketplace. I'm just waiting for somebody to get home so I can pick up what I purchased from them. It's a surprise for Seren. I'm not gonna give her all of it. I'm gonna save some for Christmas. Use some of it as like a treat for being good. I also went to Once Upon a Child while I was waiting for this lady. I got a bunch of baby stuff. Sleeper. Another sleeper. Another sleeper. This adorable little sweater. So cute. And then I got the 10 bodysuits. And I found some pretty cute ones. These ones are just plain. This one has little bears on it. This one's plain. This one's got a little elephant. I really thought this one was cute. Plain, Birds Bees. This one's a fall one. I'm so happy I found this. And then a little green one. Okay, I just stuffed my face and then did my little work update email just to kind of wrap things up and send my doctor's note. So that feels great to have that done. This is what I picked up from that lady. So excited. I paid $25 and you can't buy any of these unless you're buying them used. So they're hard to find. But this one, one of the bigger ones. Let's open it. Oh yeah. Look at all the little swings. This one's the biggest one. I'm gonna try and get nail polish remover on here. I'm obviously gonna clean all of these. Oh my God. This one I never personally had, but one of my childhood best friends, whoa, had this one, and it's huge. A little airplane. Oh, just took the door off. Oopsies. This one I did have. I remember this one vividly. The Get Better Center. Little vet. Oh my God, it's brings back so many memories. And then just a few little ones. So what's this one? Takeout. Little takeout place. And this one's like a similar deal, I think. This one's a little van. Oh my God. I had this. It was definitely part of like a bigger thing, but I remember this and I had that. Oh my God. That's crazy. So whenever I get the time and energy, I'll wipe those down, clean those up, and determine like if I'm gonna save it for Christmas or if I can just, I don't know, have it as like a little, oh, you know what would be nice? When we move, have it like be all set up in her room as a little moving surprise with some new toys. I think that might be nice. So yeah, I'll do that. Got a lot of compost to take outside. I was out for like 4 hours, so I am super tired and I just want to relax for now. It's also so nice outside. It is my favorite fall weather. It's really sunny, but all of the leaves are like falling and turning and it's really cool and oh, I love fall. I am 35 weeks today. I've been so congested in the past like week or two, I'd say. I do kind of remember this being a thing, but it's also coinciding with the weather getting colder and I always have my window open. I basically have been turning into a mouth breather at night, and then that makes me feel like crap, and then feeling that I've had a headache since like, I don't remember when it came on yesterday, but I've had it since yesterday, like last night. I did take Tylenol. Took Tylenol. What are we gonna do about that? About an hour ago, I think. I'm hoping that helps, but I took my blood pressure, and what my OB told me is that I don't need to worry about it unless both numbers are high. Like the bottom number in your blood pressure, the diastolic or whatever, is the more important one to pay attention to. So if that's not like 90 or above, then I'm okay. It isn't, but my top number has been getting high, and then that coupled with having a headache is concerning to me. I don't know. Having preeclampsia before and having it, nothing's happening, and then suddenly all of your organs are failing. It's a really scary thing because it's so like particular for them to diagnose, I guess. And then I keep bringing it up, like I had it around this time. I literally gave birth at 35 and 2 with my daughter. So if I had it around this time last time, and I've had it before, like that's the key. I should already be high risk. What do I do? They keep telling me when I go in, like when I bring that up, they're like, you could also just not have it. Like you don't have to have it. And I'm like, I obviously fucking know that, but I'm having all these symptoms. So I'm also annoyed because I had a car service appointment this morning, and I thought it was going to be simple and easy, but they told me it was going to take at least 3 hours. Actually, no. He told me it could take 3 hours, but it could take less. So I was like, fuck it. Okay, I'll bus home because I was just going to stay there. And then they still haven't called. It's almost been 4 hours. Ugh. I'm so annoyed. So maybe I'll call them. Just wanted to pop this in here just in case shit hits the fan. I do have an OB appointment tomorrow, so I'm really trying not to be dramatic and go to the hospital again. But if my headache doesn't go away, well actually no, just that, if my headache doesn't go away, I'm gonna go to a drugstore to take my blood pressure once I get my car back. I also haven't been able to sleep. I can't sleep at all. I tried to lay down and nap so as to help this headache in a dark room. I can't sleep. Too much reeling in my brain, but I'm also too physically tired and out of breath to do anything else around the house. I swept. Oh, I'm picking this up as if I'm gonna show you that I swept, like it's just my floor. I swept to do laundry. I put away a bunch of his clothes. So I'm using this card again. I used it last time. There's just junk on the bottom, random, those are nipple pads, stuff on that. And then this is his sleepers, pants, sweaters, long sleeves, and then I think all of those are just regular onesies and this adorable little sweater. Oh yeah, I also need Josh to put that out. And then in here we've got more, everything's like 0 to 3, maybe 3 to 6, but most of it is 0 to 3 in there and out there. Diapers, random stuff that I got from people. And then this is the diaper caddy with a couple spare outfits in there, breast pumps, blankets. I need to get gripe water. And then those are, I think, swaddles and stuff. And that's another thing. They, like, one of the symptoms is breathlessness when you're dealing with preeclampsia because there could be fluid in your lungs. Now, how are you supposed to differentiate between breathlessness of having a bowling ball on you? Anyways, I just don't feeling weird. I'm gonna sit down and have some water and maybe some of my lentil soup that I made because my doctor said I'm low in iron. So she booked me for an iron infusion, which still haven't gotten the call for. I have a feeling I'm not gonna be able to get that before I give birth, which is super cool. So I'm gonna have some of that for lunch, be able to rest a little bit and call my goddamn car people because they're pissing me off. It's Saturday, October 11th. We came to the hospital early this morning because I was not feeling the baby move as much and I wanted to check out the pain in my belly that I've been having. Like, because it was in the upper right side and whatever. Now it's 4:45 p.m. and around 2, I think, I started having contractions like 5 minutes prior. Super uncomfortable, felt like I was gonna throw up, had diarrhea. It was really pleasant. Now they're keeping me for a couple extra hours. I was dilated 2 centimeters a little while ago, so they keep me to have that as my baseline and then see if I'm dilating anymore or see if the contractions slow down, which I don't think they have. Luckily, they're still like pretty manageable. Since I got my Gravol, I don't feel as sick, so I'm just like moving around, trying to. We went for a walk outside, and that really helped. But they're still happening, and they're also going to give me an ultrasound to check on the baby and the fluids. We might get sent home if nothing progresses. I really don't know. I don't know what to expect. I might be going up to the labor unit today. It's so crazy to me. If not today, this weekend. It's Thanksgiving weekend. Josh is gone. He went home to pack a bag for himself and to shower, do some dishes, clean the litter box, do some house stuff, just in case I do get admitted. Because if I do get admitted and we end up going through labor, I want him to be there for that. So I'm just kind of waiting to see. Mom is on standby at her home.